Hello everyone, this is Kane Mani and I am the biggest tech entrepreneur on the African continent. In this video, I want to share with you my personal journey into tech entrepreneurship and how tech entrepreneurship is enabling me to create the companies I'm creating to bring out the vision I want to execute in this world. So, in my previous video, I gave you a brief about myself, how I got here, where I was raised, like basically all the things you need to know about me leading up to this. And I was supposed to share with you my personal story or my personal journey into entrepreneurship, but I decided to do it in this video because it's quite lengthy and all of that. So, what inspired me to be a tech entrepreneur? This is the genesis of my personal story. So, I had a background in general arts back in senior high school, back in prep college. So, and prior to that, I had no business knowledge. So, what this means is that I didn't get into this for the purpose of building a business. Me being a tech entrepreneur wasn't premeditated. I didn't grow up thinking I want to be in tech, I want to be a tech entrepreneur. I had none of those thoughts growing up. In fact, growing up, my mom had always wanted me to be a lawyer, and because I was young, I didn't even know all of these things. But what I've always wanted to be growing up is to be great. I've always admired great people in history. And these great people in history are people who really inspire me. And I've been thinking about, okay, so how do I also achieve greatness? How do I also become great so that history would remember me? And me wanting to be great, or me wanting to leave an impact or leave a dent in the world, I have a vision. I have things I want to bring into the world, things I want to take from my mind and see them physically in the world. I have ideas that are sitting in my mind that I want to see them physically in the world, that humanity would benefit from, that humanity would use, humanity would know that a man called Kane Mani came and he did this. So through my passion or my quest for greatness, I found people in history who truly inspired me and who truly created a pathway for me to know that I can achieve this greatness and also be added to the greats that have inspired me to be great. Now, the first person who had a huge impact on me growing up is Alexander the Great. When I chanced on Alexander the Great story, I was amazed. I was awed by the things he did at a younger age, conquering the world, the conquest, like the impacts, and how 1,000 years from now we still remember him and all the things he did. For a city to be named after him, all of that, I'm like, damn. So I'm a huge fan of Alexander the Great and all that he did and how he made impact in the world, how history remembers him as one of the world's greatest kings, emperors, military rulers. His story really inspires me. One other person also in history that really inspires me is Napoleon Bonaparte. I'm a huge fan of Napoleon Bonaparte as well, and what he achieved in history and in the world at large. So stories or people like this really inspired me and make me want to be great, want to have my name in history, want to be remembered and all of that. Now, I think one of the three other people who really also inspire me, Aliko Dangote, fantastic man. I love him to death. All that he has achieved, the company is built, the impact is made in the world, it's crazy. And when I look at his story, his successes, the height he's reached, it's really inspiring to me. I'm also a huge fan of Yasantua, the former Ashanti queen, and what she's done, how generations unborn still talk about her, how we name people after her, all the greatness she achieved, and modern day Steve Jobs with all the things he did with Apple technology. These are the greats in history that really inspire me. So with me wanting to be great, I look at all of these people and say, okay, Alexander the Great had to have a kingdom. Napoleon Bonaparte had to sort of have a vehicle. Yes, and so a vehicle. Just a vehicle. Dangote a vehicle. So the vehicle drives them to their greatness level. So I want to be great. I have all these ideas and visions in my head. I have things I want to like bring to the world. I have things I want the world to see. I have things that I want humanity to be touched and live on forever. So how do I achieve all of these things? Now, for me to bring these ideas into the world, I need to have a vehicle and have a means to convene these ideas into the world. I never knew anything about entrepreneurship or the word entrepreneur because I didn't premeditate myself to be an entrepreneur. But I was doing things, I was trying to do things, I was trying to bring these ideas because I used to write them in my notes, scribble them in my like all around and everything. And my big brother once told me, Kane, all the things you are doing, you are doing entrepreneurship. I was like, oh, okay. And my big brother like has an entrepreneurial background. He's very smart. He's very talented. Then he said, do you know that you can create a company that can put all these ideas in and build them out? I was like, really? That was like very foreign to me at the time. And I was 19 years at that time. I was like, okay, so I can register a company and put all these ideas. I was like, yeah, you can do that. I'm like, really? Because remember, at the age of 19 years, like during those times, thinking of creating your own company at the age of 19 years was surreal. Like, because we were growing up, our idea of a company, or like when somebody owns a company or when somebody starts a company, is a big building with employees and all that. Like the thought wasn't okay, oh, at 19 you can create a company and try to build it from ground up and all of that. So my big brother was like, oh yeah, it's possible, you can do that. Then he made me write my first business plan at the age of 19 with my first idea. So at that time, I had this idea of trying to create a newspaper where it will serve as a newspaper, but it will be an advertising newspaper. So I wrote my first business plan inspired by my big brother. And one thing he also did for me was to add a book to it for me to read. The book was called The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump. Huge, fantastic book. And that was my first time hearing Donald Trump. And this book I read about Donald Trump opened my eyes to, damn, I can build this. Because when I read a book about Donald Trump, I read about how he built the Trump Tower, his friends, like, I was like, wow, amazing. Like, all of these things are possible. I was very amazed. And for a long time, Trump really inspired me. And all this while, my big brother, and I was staying with him at that time. So my big brother had a computer in the house that I would play with, I would use, I would like figure around and all that. So my interest for tech and computers was growing. I wanted to bring a vision to the world. I had just been exposed to entrepreneurship, Donald Trump. I've been told what I'm doing is entrepreneurship. I can build a business out of it. I'm like, wow, amazing. So one day I was watching a TV program, Miss Malika. Those times, I think it's a program. It airs on GH1 now or something. Yes. So I was watching Miss Malika, and one girl was asked what she wants to be in future, and she said she wants to be a computer programmer. I was like, okay. Like, I love computers. I love science. Even though I didn't do science, I love what science can do. And I'm like, okay, she wants to be a computer programmer. So I went to quickly search, because I had a PC in the house, search what a computer programmer. I was like, wow, this is a computer program. Then it gave me all the list of the great people like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Bob Noyes, like all these people like who build like great computer companies. Like, wow. So it gave me some eye-opening. And at that time, I had started my newspaper business, and I was trying to get it off the ground. Then my interest for technology started to peak, because okay, now I have all these great ideas. I want to solve this problem, solve this problem, bring all this in the world, so I can translate this knowledge into this. So now I got the idea that, okay, I have this vision. I want to change the world. I want to make an impact in the world. I want to make a dent in the world. I want history to remember me. I want to physically make an impact, like how there is a plane, there are cars, there is electricity, like camera. I use an iPhone. How all these phones came out. People actually made these things happen in the world. So for me to do this, these are the things I need to do. One is to get a vehicle. The vehicle meaning that I need to create a company. Two, meaning that I need to learn the skills that will require me to create these products I want to bring into the world. And three, I need to commercialize it, which means that I need to learn the business to commercialize, to make money, to keep running this. And finally, to get a team that can manage to grow this. It's like, damn. So I started by learning like other things I need to learn. I registered my first company, my first tech company, which I was 21, going to 22 years. And at that time, I had done some non-tech businesses that I had some failures. Because remember, what I'm telling you is 2009, 2010. Because my first tech company, Origin, which is the biggest company I run now amongst my family of companies, was registered in 2010. Then prior to that, I registered the newspaper business, which was the Kane Mani organization. The name was hugely influenced by Donald Trump's company, the Trump organization, and I had challenges with the newspaper business, so it had to go off. Then I also organized an event. I was one of the very first people to organize a Facebook friends party, put all this put together. My co-founder of Origin and myself, we love to put people together, do a lot of entertainment stuff. So we did that. Then I started Origin. And when I started Origin, I had gone to film school. So I was at NAFTI level 100 when the idea of starting Origin came about. So somebody who loves tech, who wants to create things, or who is studying technology to make things, gets to find himself in film school so they can tell stories, make cameras, like bring tech into movies. So I was trying to combine all the passions I have to make sure that I leave the world a far better place than I saw it, that make a great impact. Then my love for tech started to grow. I started to learn code. I started to understand how everything works. Like I started to understand how business works. I learned business. I learned so many things along the line. So 21, 22, and at that time I started Origin already. And prior to NFT, so my first two companies I started before going to NFT were non-tech companies. Even though at that time my passion for tech was very high and I was still learning the tech, I didn't have a clear path as to which tech I want to build. So we did the advertising company, which is Money Shoppers Weekly. It failed. My co-founder of Origin later and I did Facebook Friends Party at Colosseum. It didn't really do that well. Then when I was naughty, so in 2010, there's a movie about Mark Zuckerberg that came out called The Social Network, which really inspired me to think, oh, okay, we could also create a social network for Africa. Then we started a product with the idea of building a social network called the Freebase. And on the ground of building a Freebase was when I dropped out of NAFTI. So I dropped out of the university in 2011, thereabout. Yes, I think so. So my co-founder was actually gone. I was at NFT, and at that time too, the concept of mobile apps was coming up, and my vision for what I wanted to build at that time was to build a social network called the Freebase, and I engaged one of my mentors, Mr. Kwesama Fuyabuwa, who told me to focus on building apps since the mobile age was dawning. There were no really of companies, so there wasn't any major company building mobile apps in Ghana at that time. Most of them were doing USSD, SMS, and all of that. So we said, okay, we can build this social network called the Freebase, but we also build the apps. So we began to learn about how to build mobile apps with Android, started to do C with like iOS and all of that, and we moved the company totally towards building apps. Remember, at that time, the idea of knowing that our social network product called the Freebase was a consumer product which needed a lot of funding, a lot of finance, a lot of marketing, a lot of skills and strategies to make it work for our world wasn't there. So we made a lot of mistakes with that product. But when we shifted to building mobile apps, becoming a mobile first company, we get a lot of gigs. We get a lot of companies contract us to build mobile apps for them, from telcos to TV stations to banks to churches, and that formed the basics where we built Origin on top. And now, Origin becoming a full-fledged mobile app company expanded our idea horizon. Okay, now we have all this mobile knowledge, all this technology knowledge, all this knowledge in space. Then, but we've always at Origin wanted to be a consumer-focused company. So we decided to ship our own product called the Shop Mob, which is shopping mobile. And we decided to let people do e-commerce at that time. At that time too, payment was very fresh. It was very new. Like it wasn't as adopted as it is today. So combining payment, commerce, logistics, delivery all into one pool was a bit hectic. And also for first-time entrepreneurs, first-time founders who've never built anything of this magnitude before, we failed on that aspect. But the thriving part of our business was the consulting part, was for building, was taking these skills we've learned to build mobile apps for companies. So most churches, banks, insurance companies, like private businesses, we made a huge business out of building mobile apps. Fast forward, we after building the base of the entire business, we said, okay, now let's focus on our consumer business. All the ideas we had from mobile tailor to e-prepaid to shop mob to watch locator, all of that. We decided, okay, we've been able to build an enterprise business by like consulting and building out for customers. I remember we created Origin with a sole aim and sole goal of changing the world, building products that revolutionize the world, that change the world, that move humanity forward. And at that time, my co-founder and I had a 100-year plan for Origin because we've always wanted to build Origin to be a company that would last. And Origin, like, is my first tech company that we created. So our goal was to build Origin to be a company like Microsoft, like IBM, like Apple, company that will outlive us. So we had a long-term plan for Origin. We had a lot of ideas we wanted to put in there. And personally, we were also growing as people. We were also growing as entrepreneurs. Because we were 21, 22 at that time. We knew nothing about business. We just had the zeal, the ambition, the drive, the vision, and the knowledge to manage people, to build things, to manage money. All were things we were learning on a go. Because none of us had built any business before with any knowledge. But we wanted to bring a vision into the world. We wanted to change the world. We wanted to make a significant impact. We wanted people to use our products and have a lifestyle change. Okay, these are things that Origin has created. So personally, when I dropped out of the university, my core goal was to go all out in creating the company. But that was extremely tough. Like, that was very, very, very hard. Because when we dropped out, we had a series of challenges that, like, had a lot of shift in the business. But because of our skill of knowing how to build mobile apps, we were able to, and we persevered a lot. We didn't give up. There was a lot of persistence, determination. We were able to get all these gigs in there. So our enterprise business gave us a seed to be able to rent our first office space in East Legon, put together a team, and all of that. Then we decided to put that money into our consumer product. So our first consumer product that we built was called Watch Locator. Now, the idea for Watch Locator came as a result of when we were in the office of one of our early investors, one of the early companies that wanted to invest in us, let me put it this way. but the investment didn't go through because at that time tech investment it is like 20 yeah like 2013 2014 thereabout. It's been almost like 10 years. Yeah. And so we're looking for Watcher around, we couldn't find Watcher. And I'm like, this may be a problem that a lot of people are having. We know the tech, we can put it out there. So why don't we build a product around this and call it Watch Locator, where you can find the nearest watch joint around. Mind you, the idea for Watch Locator is very easy, but the execution of Watch Locator is extremely hard because at that time, things hadn't evolved like now. At that time, we had to get the vendors on, we had to convince them that it is a good product. We had to give them a technology that would enable them to be able to like learn how to get an order. We had to get the riders, we had to do the mapping, we had to do the payment. So I think Watch Locator was too early for its time, or we hadn't grown much as entrepreneurs to execute such a product. Unlike today, it's very easy to build Watch Locator and it's because all the logistics are there, all the payment is there, the adoption is there, the market is ready, all those ones are there and ready. So that's building Watch Locator gave us a lot of mileage because the product came out and people were like, wow, like we were actually wowed by such an idea, and we had a lot of gigs, a lot of businesses coming through and all of that. Then we started to release our second consumer product, which would define the course of the business. We defined us and put us on a different pedestal altogether in terms of brand recognition, publicity, awareness, business, and also gave us a huge setback, which I'll come there. Now, we've had this idea, why do people have to queue to buy electricity? So, we decided to build a product called e-prepaid, where you can easily buy electricity directly from your phones. And it was like 2017, thereabouts, when we had this idea, because we were coming off the success of our Watch Locator, like the product itself, even though it didn't get a lot of mass market adoption, but the idea has given us through consulting gigs, enterprise gigs, of what we can potentially build. So e-prepaid was the second consumer product origin released after Watch Locator. Now, in releasing e-prepaid, and all through this while we had grown as entrepreneurs, as managers, as business people, and our idea for e-prepaid has always been what Origin is doing now, to make sure that everybody has access to electricity easily and affordable. So we released e-prepaid, it had a lot of brands, a lot of traffic. Then we had a huge problem from the major distributor of electricity in Ghana, which is ECG. And that's where we had a huge setback, like the company ran into debt, employees left, like almost everything we built for the past 6-7 years, like, or 8 years, just came down, just stopped because of the challenges with e-prepaid. So my journey of entrepreneurship started back in 2008, yeah, till now. So there's been a lot of evolution of things that we have done, a lot of evolution of things that we are building. Now, the idea that we want to bring these things into the world is not purposefully for the purpose of making money, but to really make a change. Now, we need to make money to be able to keep financing these technologies that we are bringing to the world. We need to make money to keep building these things. And now, as I've grown and evolved, a lot of things that I'm doing beyond Origin, a lot of companies that I've created along the line from TDC to Student to Gudu to Dodo to Origin, Cast, all the companies that in my subsequent videos I will tell you about. Now, my vision of electrification, techification, industrialization, emancipation, and making sure that the African content is built and developed and changing the world is what drives all the creation of these companies. So each company I'm creating or I'm building is tackling one aspect of this vision. And for this aspect of the vision to happen, I need to create a company, I need to create a technology, I need to create a business. I need to bring the team and let the vision happen. So me being a tech entrepreneur is as a result of the fact that there are visions I want to bring into the world, and these are inspiring me to be able to bring that change and make sure that humanity benefits from all of these things. So this has been my personal story. I think all those times I had the challenges, the downtimes, all of that, I'll bring all this in my subsequent videos to share with others. But the purpose of this video today is to tell you about my personal journey into tech entrepreneurship and how I got here today running or in being involved with 5 tech companies, and how we are building the most important tech companies of our generation, transforming things, changing things, making the world a better place, and how the experiences and the knowledge we've learned over the years are fueling us to be able to bring these things into reality and making sure that humanity will benefit, and generations from now will know that we create these things, we build these things, and we change the world. My name is Kane Mani, and I'm the biggest tech entrepreneur on the African continent. Thank you for watching this video. In my next video, I'll talk about my vision. A brief about my vision is techification, electrification, industrialization, and emancipation. And all the companies I'm creating and building form a part of all of these things, and how they're bringing these changes into the world. How do we make Africa an electrified continent? How do we make Africa a techified continent? How do we make the world an electrified world? How to make the world a techified world? How do we industrialize the continent? How do we emancipate the continent? How do we make sure that generations to come would live off the work we are doing? So I was put to all what my companies are doing: Origin, Gudu, Dodo, Student, and TDC, and how they all fit into this. Thank you so much, and thank you everyone. My name is Kane Mani. I'm Africa's biggest tech entrepreneur. I'll see you next time. Thank you.